Hi, I'm Martin, and I'm joined by Mark.
Hello.
Mark knows everything about this new Xbox spec sheet leak.
Yeah, we should probably talk about this, as this is big news. There's a load of comments on this on the website.
So what happened is yesterday, a spec sheet for the new Xbox, the Next Box, or popularly called the Xbox 720,
720.
was
Not going to be called that.
was put out on the internet by a site called VG Leaks. Now, this sheet was filled with loads of information. There's been Xbox leaks before.
Yeah.
This latest one has actually got quite a lot of stuff in it.
It's very detailed,
Yeah.
I think.
Now, it's worth pointing out that these aren't confirmed by Microsoft. Microsoft, as you would expect, is not commenting.
Shockingly enough,
On
they're
this.
going to keep them.
But
Yeah.
Mark, why don't you tell us some of the...
So I've had to write this down because there's a lot of numbers here, so it is quite difficult to remember off the top of your head. But essentially, the core specs are an 8-core CPU, a Blu-ray drive, which will surely drive the Sony fanboys crazy, a DirectX 11.1 capable GPU, and 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. So that's your sort of core specs there. And the other thing that's interesting is they delved into the actual CPU itself, which apparently is a 64-bit CPU, clocked at 1.6 gigahertz. Each CPU thread has its own 32 kilobyte L1 cache, as well as 4 cores having 2 megs of L2 cache, resulting in a total of 4 meg of L2 cache. Now that sounds like a lot of numbers and is kind of dull.
Is that good? That's what we need to know, Mark. Is it good?
It is good. But what you can do with those numbers is sort of, you can't be certain, but you can certainly speculate as to what sort of CPU they're using. Now, in the Xbox 360, they used a custom PowerPC CPU. Now, it's quite possible that they've done the same thing here, and it's not an off-the-shelf product. If we were to speculate that it were an off-the-shelf product, the most likely candidate for this CPU is an AMD Bulldozer CPU. Intel don't make... Well, they do make 8-core CPUs, but they tend to be for servers, the Xeon range. So they only make 4-core CPUs for desktops. AMD are the only one that they only hire. So it's quite potentially they could be going down the AMD route.
Cool. Now, a lot of people in the comments for this news story that we put up have said that they are a bit nonplussed because their current PC has better bits in it already.
Yes. Now that's again. You see, the problem is depending on how they're winging this, is that if they're building this using off-the-shelf hardware to make it easier for people to program for, then yes, it's very much going to be like programming for a PC. But bear in mind that a console is an appliance still. It's not a PC. It's designed to just turn on and off without you dicking about with it. Basically, that's the idea. So the fact that it has slightly lower specs than the current PC doesn't necessarily mean it's worse. It's like when the original Xbox 360 came out. The actual CPU in there wasn't... It was, it was great, but it wasn't like... You were still talking about CPUs and PCs that would catch up very, very quickly. And the most important thing in here anyway is the GPU, which is DirectX 11, 800 megahertz, 12 shader cores for a total of 768 threads.
And, well, it sounds a lot more powerful than what people are used to now.
It's not. It's not. That is not. If you look at this compared to some of the current gen stuff from Nvidia and ATI, it's not hugely powerful. And if you look at the speculation about the next gen parts from AMD, you got stuff where the closest match I could find from the next gen parts, if this were a next gen part, was this 8950, which is 800 megahertz speed, but it has far more shader clocks and shader cores. So. This is actually a lower end part by the sounds of it.
But if these were the specs, it would be a significant step up on the 360.
Of course it would, yeah, it would be a significant step up. But as it stands, I don't think, if you were to directly compare this to a PC, which a lot of people are doing at the moment, it's not going to stand up.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. It all depends on how people program for it and how they've implemented it, and it could well be that you're going to see some amazing stuff.
Right. Well, of course, it's worth pointing out again that these are not confirmed, but they do look pretty interesting. That's all I can say.
They do look pretty interesting, and I think the fact that it has 8 gigabytes of RAM is significant from a multitasking point of view, and if Microsoft are going down that road of making it a multimedia console, like they are with the Xbox now, really, more RAM's better. You'll be able to stream video, download stuff in the background, play games at the same time. I think that's what they're going for with that much RAM.
All right, well, so that's the latest Xbox 720 rumour, but for more next-gen discussion, feel free to check out GameSpot.com.